Excellent. Cool. Well, welcome everybody to your Wednesday, February the 2nd comms call. I will just start sharing my screen. Cool. Now we can just start with intentions and distractions. My intentions for the call are to go through the board, talk about something that just came up is like talk about like maybe doing more podcasts for Giveth, and just checking where we're at with a bunch of different issues. And my distractions are just the internet being a little choppy, but hopefully it's okay. I'll pass it to Ashley.
Hey guys. Yeah, my intentions for the call, just to kind of sync up, see where we're at, see if I have any outstanding issues. I had a chance to look at the board a little bit. I think I got most of my issues are known about and updated. And distractions, I don't know, your neighborly Costa Rican sounds and everything going on in the background all the time. I guess that's really the only distraction. I put a couple of things in the agenda that I'd like to talk about, but we can get to those whenever it's convenient. And I'll pass it to Ahmad.
Thanks, Ashley. So my intentions are to discuss the newsletter that we sent out last week this week, and talk about what our plan is going forward for the upcoming newsletter. So what the process is like for us to gather things to highlight. And also, just see other ways that I can get involved. And I don't really have much distractions. Let me pass it to Forrest.
Awesome. Hey, everyone. I don't feel distracted, and I went through and updated some of my outstanding issues on the GitHub board earlier this morning, and I don't have any other requests for the meeting, just here to sync up. And I will pass it to Chadvi.
So I'm still kind of watching the votes for Zapper on Willie's initial request. We don't have a whole lot. I'm thinking maybe in the next larger call, we can kind of do a call to action and just kind of ask people to it literally takes like 30 seconds to go vote on that. And then as far as adding our token logo to Uniswap, it looks like Willie had also submitted a proposal for that. So I need to take an action item to get with him and see what support he needs to get that pushed through. And thanks to Lauren for assigning me those lovely tasks.
Thanks, Chad. Okay, let's pass it to Suga.
Howdy, everybody. Right, so my intentions are to get better grounded again, just getting my footing here, and my distractions sadly are numerous as usual at this time of day. But I'm fully present, but also I have a couple of people who depend on me at this time of day who are little and not totally patient, but I'm here, and I really need to. I'm excited to just keep catching up with everybody. Back to. Oh no! Wait, where am I heading it to? Gene.
Thanks, Mr. Hello. Intentions would be to try to really catch up with everybody and actually contribute properly, instead of just hanging on for the ride, because feel like I'm not doing anything functional. And distractions would be the fact that I'm scheduled to be in 3 different meetings, and I'm selecting this one because this is important to me, and I need to try to do a better job. So thanks. Back to Lauren.
Okay, awesome. Thanks, everyone. Cool. So I think we can probably safely burn through the issues that are on the board. I'm gonna just hide. I'm just going to hide the video issues, and then we can go through the rest of the comms issues. The video issues have a call of their own. And then we can touch on any of the points that Ashley added to the agenda and the newsletter. But I think there's an issue for that, actually. So everything and done. Oh, actually, I just wanted to check in with this Telegram thing. This is the only one I wasn't totally sure. Transform Telegram group into a better version of itself. This is just, this is done, right? Oh, you just commented.
Yeah, I had commented this morning. Kai said he'd rather just close the bridge than make an announcement channel bridge. So it's done as it's gonna get right now.
Sounds great. Okay, cool. So, no, not gonna comment. I'm just gonna close it. I love closing issues so much. Cool. Give Farm Medium post. I know Mitch made a few more edits, but he's not here to check in. But I think I'll just kind of review this one more time and chat with him. He's in the house, but and then we can share that out within the next couple of days. Maybe even next week, because this week we have the One Hive trivia on Friday, and I'm with Twitter and all of my announcing, I'm trying to get people to come to One Hive trivia. I think it'll be a fun way to get people involved with Giveth. So, yeah, great. Get on Osachina's ads, PO-ups for every give background. Ashley, do you think that we should make a new issue every time we need 3 more PO-ups, or what do you think is the best way of organizing this? I feel right now we're just kind of keep putting it in this issue.
Yeah,
what do you think?
No, I wonder if we just make a Figma for it.
Yeah. Okay.
And then
we could just make.
I guess if I get to a round where I'm using the last one available in the Figma, I can just ping one of the design people, and we can make an issue, and they could make 3 more or something. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, they do like having issues, so maybe I think we should probably just make an issue every time the 3 are done. I can just yeah, or maybe you could make the issue if you grab the last one and you're ooh, I just grabbed the last one, then make a new issue for it and then assign Katarina.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. And then we can just store the actual images in one big Figma file, and then I could just make an issue whenever I use the last one. So for instance, on round 6, once I make the link for the last one, then I'll make an issue and tag them and get the next round of 3.
Where these all are. I'll just comment and see. Great. Change X-Data dosage in the documentation. Suga, I know that you did a bunch of this. Did you do all of it? Is this issue done?
That's a good question. I was asking that myself. I mean, I did. I'm worried there's probably some other documents that I don't know how to find, or I did what you're doing, and I went through all of that and changed all. There were a few that were already changed, actually, and then so I did that, and then I actually went through because I was reading it all. I don't know. I'll just do. Should I just? I can do a double check on it.
Yeah, I think if you could just go through it. I mean, if you miss a couple, it's not the end of the world. So don't spend all of your life on it. But if you could just skim through it and be pretty sure it's done, then we can just close the issue. You could just leave a comment.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you too, because I see that you submitted pull requests for it, and that I was assigned to review some of them. So basically, I just go in, look at the changes that they were made, and then I can just accept the pull request. Is that the flow?
Yeah, so when she submits a pull request, you I think I reviewed all of them because I think she put me on them as well to review, but it's you just you can make a comment or just approve it and then right after merge it. So I was just if it was good, I approved and merged, and if it wasn't, it gives you 3 options and explains what the 3 options are.
Okay, cool. Well, I'll check and make sure there aren't any that I was set to review that you weren't on, just to clarify, but if you think that, that works.
Yeah. The only reason I asked her to make pull requests is just because it's her first time editing the docs and just wanted to kind of make sure they're all cool. I think there were really no issues. So I think in the future, probably Suga, you could just also directly commit them. But just make sure that you review, when you're editing the docs, it's you can see the lines of code that were changed when you it's files changed. Have you checked out that part?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So as long as you like go and you look at the pieces that were changed and like it wasn't anything crazy or gonna change all the formatting, then I think you can just merge directly. Like your PRs are all great. I just wanted to make sure for the first round.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Also, I just wanted to add, if anybody is editing in the docs, just to make sure that once the changes go live, that you just kind of like double check the links and stuff, because sometimes with the markdown, it gets weird. So like sometimes the links get weird. So once it goes live, just check and make sure like the links are all looking right and nothing looks weird once it's live.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Thanks.
And copy editing the Giveth docs. I guess this is coming hand in hand with the other one, or are you still going through some stuff?
Oh, I think that I can probably look at some more stuff, but while you have that up, I was just wondering. So it's obviously a little bit different from what I'm used to at the TEC. Like, I don't know if I'm supposed to be putting different labels or who really should be the review people and stuff like that. So I kind of just started putting in the different names that I've been seeing, because I haven't really met everybody. So I think I'll do that too. I'm like the folks I don't know. Maybe we can do some things. But yeah, labels.
Yeah, with the documentation, I mean, pretty much all the docs, it was written by Mitch or Ashley or me. I think Forrest wrote one of them as well. But like for the most part, you can tag me to review them, and I'm like super happy to, because I'm like really particular about stuff. And then like otherwise, if they're like, oh, if you think it was Mitch or Ashley or whatever, I mean, any of us at 3 years is probably safe.
What about labels, or maybe this isn't the moment for that, but just wondering what it doesn't seem.
You mean like labels
Giveth
like
as like per. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, in comms, we don't use the labels as heavily. But if you're like, oh, I think that this is a system that like should be implemented. Ashley started using the community label for community working group related issues. But other than that, like we were using the documentation label. But I mean, we don't have a great system for labels. And if you want to start making labels more active in Giveth comms, like I'm all for it. I think you probably have good ideas on what to do.
All right, cool.
I think like
We just, it really is like the three of us hanging out.
Yeah, the
Go ahead,
tools I
Ashley.
use the most are just like if a design is needed, it's easy for Marco to find. So like if the design team needs to do something for the issue, put the like design needed label, or if it goes to QA or like if it's ready for review, there's a label for that too. So that way, if any of us that you didn't tag are in there and we see something needs review, we can just go in and review it. But those are the two that I use the most in comms.
Yeah, totally. More than the labels, I really just use the pipeline. So if something's ready for review and you move it into review QA, that's cool. Yeah, so newsletter, Ahmad. So process, do you want to talk about this?
Yeah, so we sent out the first newsletter, and it's on the docs now, so you can go look at it if you want. If anyone didn't get it. So we sent it out to 199 people that were on our newsletter list. So I guess I wanted to just discuss like a couple of things. One of them is what is the process for us going forward? If anyone here wants to get involved, because we want to try to send these out at least once a month. And like in the past, working with other newsletters, I know that it can be hard for one person to manage it. So it would be nice if more people can get involved, at least in the sourcing of what are things that we can, basically, like have featured every month. So what I was thinking was some of it would be updates from Giveth. Some of it would be projects that we might want to highlight. And it could be anything else that we think is relevant for the community. So yeah, I guess it's just like an open discussion if anyone wants to get involved.
Totally. I think, so for the comm side of things, running the Twitter and like making all the plan for like just kind of like organizing content going out. I usually like on the community slides, put like summaries of like what happened each week in comms. And that's kind of like if you wanted to like pull content of like major comms things, we could pull from there. I could also like tell you like my favorite like 3 things I think we should mention at the end of like a few weeks for comms. And then maybe from the project side, I think like Ashley's input would be really valuable, or Forrest, because they are doing all the verification review stuff, and they do a lot of reviewing for projects. Yeah, and then other than that, I think like if we just announce it in the community call, like we regularly remind people to like submit content or anything major they want to see in the newsletter, just kind of be like start putting in people's heads that like every week that it's like, if you want to submit stuff into the newsletter, then like add them here or whatever. And I think having a Google Doc is a pretty good idea for like collecting content. But yeah, and then as well, like I think planning it maybe the last week before, like the very third, like the third week. So we talk about like the things that happened from the last week of January and the first 3 weeks of the next month. And then we can like kind of have something drafted by like midweek, the end of the month. Yeah, what do you think?
Yeah, that makes sense to me. I guess like another thing is who are we adding to the newsletter? So do we want to add, for example, new donors automatically, or new projects, or do we just want it to be people that subscribe just for the newsletter?
I think, personally, I think we should just give it to people who subscribe for it. I think people get too many emails, and I don't want to be annoying. But
Yeah,
what do you think, Ashley? You do a lot of emails.
Yeah, I think that we should just, people who subscribe for it, and then in our comms or like in our outreach, in our shills, we just add subscribe to the newsletter here, and then people can, we just promote subscribing to the newsletter in all of our like communications.
Yeah, that sounds good.
And is this content being generated from HubSpot, like we were talking about, or is Autopilot something separate from that?
Autopilot, yeah. So it's sent through Autopilot at the moment.
Yeah. Ahmad, are you still down to like compile the information?
Yeah, for sure, definitely.
Okay, cool. You just need really help with content. You need the content to be sent to you.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I can, do what you said, like basically look at the weekly calls and get highlights from there. But yeah, I mean, if anyone wants to help, or, like if anyone here has things that they think would be useful to highlight, then yeah, I'm like more than happy to add that.
I'm curious if on the project side, we were doing some like project spotlight Medium posts there for a while, like once we got enough projects to highlight. But I wonder if like each month in the newsletter, we could just put out a list of the projects that became verified for that month, and maybe like 1 sentence about what they do or 2 sentences about what they do and link to their project. So far, I think like, I don't know. I just don't know if it would be too many. Because I think 1 month we had like 25 or something. So maybe that's too many. I don't know.
Yeah.
We can kind of collaborate. And also, I wanted to check in with you, Lauren. Like, where is Anne at as far as, is she going to keep doing these verified project tweets, or is she like all the way to Common Stack now, or is she going to be involved at all?
So she said that she would be down to write the verified projects tweets because she has fun doing it, and it doesn't take a lot of time for her. But that's kind of going to be like the extent of her involvement with the rest of Giveth Con. So she's not going to keep maintaining the Facebook or LinkedIn or doing verified projects because she's being pulled into the case studies.
Okay. And
so,
Ahmad, I guess my question for you is like, what's the best day of the month to have the content to you by in order for you to compile everything in a timely manner, or like an efficient manner?
I guess, I mean, I'm not super strict about it. I guess if it's at the beginning of the last week. So for example, like this month is a bit shorter, so probably if it's sent by like the 22nd or 23rd of the month, Yeah, like around that. Yeah, I mean, probably like last 10 days, I guess, would be like the easiest, I think.
Okay, cool. I'll try to make a point each month around that time to like send some stuff over to you project wise.
Yeah, that sounds great. I think the earlier the better. It would be nice if maybe they could be like, we could also give it a couple of days. This last round, it was like, oh, the newsletter's supposed to go out on Monday. Okay, I'll make sure I QA it on Saturday or Sunday, and it's like, it would be nice if it wasn't like right last minute.
For sure. No, but I kind of wanted to get it out in January just to say that we started the year, every month doing it,
I like it. I'm really glad that you did this month. But like for this coming month, since we're planning it, we could say deadline for content submission to be like, Monday again is, maybe we can make the deadline. Yeah, deadline for content submission could be like the 22nd, and then maybe Ahmad, you could have it written by the 24th, and then we could QA it that day, Thursday, Friday. Anything?
Yeah, that works.
Okay, cool. And then I guess like at the beginning of each month, we could also plan it. So so date for content submission, February 22nd, date for first draft, February 24th. Ready to go out February 28th. Cool. Great. Are we done here?
For the newsletter, yes.
That's ambitious. Sorry. Sorry. I just wanted to say it's maybe it's the newsletters are well, it's new, but when I was doing the newsletter at the TEC, maybe the content was more complex. I definitely needed more than 2 days to go from gathering the content to producing a draft, but maybe this is different, so I don't know. Just a thought that maybe a little bit more time, but if you're okay with it, Ahmad,
yeah,
that's great. That's great.
I mean, that's why.
Also,
yeah, I mean,
I'm here to help too.
Awesome. That's really good to hear. Yeah, I mean, basically, that's why I think it would be better if it's a effort from a bunch of us because, yeah, I mean, I have been doing newsletters for a while in other organizations, and yeah, I mean, if it's only one person compiling it, it can be tedious to do it every month. So, yeah, I mean, I think if we do it in a certain format and all of us are helping, I think it would be easier.
Right. So do you think, do you want to push these dates a little back? So content submission earlier and give a bit more time?
I mean, honestly, I think this is fine for now. Yeah, I mean, we'll see how it goes, I guess. But yeah, for now, I think it's okay.
Well, and
Cool.
I won't wait until the
So
very last date, to send you stuff over. It just gives me a good idea to know when you would be expecting it. But I'll try to try to not wait until the very last day of the deadline.
All right, fair enough.
Okay. Improve the basics guide. Suga, I think I just assigned this to you yesterday or something, or recently, yeah. The comms onboarding guide. I was just wanted to maybe suggest if you are down to you could take on writing a contributor's guide for comms, while you do the onboarding. I know Anne started it off with those links and things, and I just think it would be, it's something we kind of need, and it would be really valuable if while going through the process, you could and have it all fresh, you could lay it out.
Well, it's how do we reward good? So
oh, jeez. Oh, yes. Sounds good. Yeah. Sorry, my mic. I've got a delay going on here.
No worries. Let me know if you have any questions. It doesn't need to be done in a huge hurry, but if you just keep it in your mind and just start documenting some things.
Sounds good.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you. So the LinkedIn and the Facebook. So this is stuff that Anne was taking on that she's not going to be taking on anymore. I really want to make a reasonable password manager for all of these social media accounts and stuff like that. So if we have people taking them on, that's we don't lose track of things right now. I feel access to our content or access to like to our various platforms is like really oddly distributed. So before I take her off of those things, and we can kind of like, we could leave them just hanging there in the abyss. Like she made them nicer. And if someone wants to take on managing the LinkedIn or the Facebook, I think it'd be cool. Or we could, like we talked about last week, like investigate. I don't know if these platforms are called like Bezel and not, but I'll leave them there and take them off. Meet the Maker.
Wait, quick before you
Okay.
go on to this thing. It's okay, you don't necessarily have to go back, but I'm just putting it out. I can check with Melody. I mean, I know she's still really new right now, and maybe it's not the time for her to take on those accounts, but we were talking about, like, she's already an expert at LinkedIn. She has a bunch of connections on there because she's been doing nonprofit stuff for, like, 20 years now. So she's, like, expert at LinkedIn, and we were talking about making the Facebook page, like, more geared towards nonprofits and projects coming on, so that could definitely be something that she could maybe help out with. So I can check with her and see if it's something that she's willing to do, and if so, I can kind of like assign her and help her get on.
That would be amazing. I think that would be so cool. Maybe she can get a little oriented and Giveth a little bit first and then like take them on, but just be like, also we're thinking that like after a little bit of time, maybe you want to take this stuff over. I think maybe we threw it at Anne a little too quick. And we should learn from that.
Yeah, I think so too. That's why I was like, I'll give her some time because she's like yesterday was her first day, so like let's let her get a little bit more acquainted with everything and like understand the voice that we're coming from and stuff. But I think that would be a great place to have her contribute because she's already got a lot of skills in that area.
Totally. I totally agree. I mean, I just saw her post on Twitter the other day. It was like some article from some group I don't even know, and they were talking about like, oh, crypto is part of the future of giving, and then she was like tweeting about like and give at that. And
yeah,
thanks,
I think
Ashley.
So too. And I think that we can like plug her into a couple other places like CommsWise too coming up, just to put it out there. Is she's got like different talks that she helps facilitate between like global huge nonprofits, you know, and stuff like that, and like getting speaker spots for us to get people in there and talk about Giveth. She's got one I think lined up with Griff coming up, and there's one with the Giving Block that we're gonna. So I think that going forward, keep that in mind that she's got so many connections for the project part of it.
That's great. Sounds good.
Lauren, one more thing on that is if you want, I can set up that thing that I mentioned last time to connect our Twitter account to Facebook and LinkedIn, so it auto posts.
That would be really cool. I would love that.
Yeah, I just need. Do we have like a Zapier account or anything like that?
Is that a password
If not,
manager?
I can make one. No, it's a service that lets you connect two systems. It's called Zapier.
No, we don't. We
Yeah,
don't.
yes,
Okay, if we don't have one, I can send. Oh, we do.
Oh,
we
do.
The credentials are in the ops channel. I'll send it to you in a DM after this call because I'm streaming right now. But I'll send it to you.
Okay. Okay, sounds good.
Great. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, and maybe Ahmad, once you set that up, you could just like show it to me and like explain a little bit like how it works, so that I know how it, like if I'm going to be tweeting and then just like making sure things are like being managed well.
Yeah, it's super easy. I mean, once you set it up for the first time, I mean, it's all just drag and drop, so there's not like really much involved. But yeah, I can show it to you for sure.
Cool. Thank you.
Yeah,
Okay, Meet the Maker's call. So, did you guys decide on the date on February 22nd?
Yes. So the kickoff one I have going on Tuesday, February 22nd from 11 a.m. to 12:30 Central. And I haven't shared the invite with projects yet, but I have it like informally on our calendar. And then the second one being a month later on Tuesday, March 22nd at the same time. We talked about doing themes, so I looked through like the list of 15 projects that we had interested, and I found like 3 themes, one being youth and one being environmental and another being like crypto and tech projects. So I made youth the first one on February 22nd, and that is 5 projects. And everyone has already been like emailed about rescheduling, and I'm like in the process of confirming time slots for the 22nd. And then it looks like we have 6 projects around environmental causes for March 22nd. This was just from the first groups that have already applied. And for the environmental ones, what I just wanted to bring up is like 3 of them are like Diamante Bridge linked ones, you know, like Free the Food, like those ones. And then I have 3 that are not having anything to do with that are like, one is around fighting, like supporting aid for a flood as a result of climate change. Another one is like a regenerative community in Arizona, and I can't remember what the other is, but they're not like all Costa Rica, but there is like several from Costa Rica. So I thought I would put the Costa Rica ones together and kind of make it like, oh, this is under the umbrella, but there's 3 different representatives from each, just to make it clear, you know, that they are connected. But yeah, just wanted to get y'all's thoughts on that. And then the Google links here are for the medium pieces, which are almost complete.
Great. That sounds awesome, Forrest. I think like with the Diamante Luz thing, maybe we can add like one more environmental project like to the mix, so it's not like half as Diamante Luz, and then like make their time a little shorter and all together, you know. I think it's cool to have all 3 projects, and maybe we're like, Diamante Luz has a bunch of different projects, like they're representing this and this and this, and we make it like, you know, 2/3 of your normal time where 3 projects present, instead of having like half the time for just this community, you know.
Yeah, I like that. I can do that.
Cool. Nice. Well, that sounds really good. When these blog posts are ready for you, I see you say you'll tag us. So tag us when they're ready. And then February 22nd. So I think maybe we should have like, we could send the blog post out like Thursday the 17th, a couple of days before. And then like with the nice tweet thread explaining the projects. I guess maybe the tweet thread that Anne created isn't the most applicable anymore because the projects have changed.
So a lot of the tweets she wrote are for the March 22nd event for the environmental project. So, and when you were talking about, I didn't realize Anne was moving over to TEC. Since I'm writing these posts and already like digging in, I can totally take that on, the tweets. So I can update what she's already written, and I can write new ones for the projects that she hasn't written about yet.
Cool. Yeah, that sounds good.
Should we make separate issues for these things, and like shilling for this, and like the tweet thing going out, and maybe make this into an epic? Would that be more helpful? It seems like this one issue has so many different pieces, and I remember if you scroll up in that issue a bit, like you made a checklist in there of all the things that we need to do, and so maybe having an issue for each one of those points might be good, or something. I don't know.
And maybe I can just convert this issue into an epic. I think I can do that.
Yeah. If you just add the label, it'll become an epic.
Yep. Okay. So let's see. Thread for February 22nd. Oh, it didn't become an epic. Okay, well, I don't want to spend so much of our time like just organizing the board right now, but for now, just make this issue and assign you Forrest for the first one, and then I can like help set that up. So make this into an epic with subtask. Great. Create email to project owners to receive the give drop. Did this ever go out? Because I know we were waiting on Taurus, but now Taurus while it works.
It's in progress right now. I was just like working on it before this call. I was making sure, like, I wanted to make sure all the givebacks and everything emails were working properly, and so that was really my focus. But yeah, I have it on a tab in my Explorer right now.
Nice. Okay, cool. Do we need to check in on any of these like HubSpot things? I think we were deciding we're probably not going to use it, or
I don't think we need to check in on this call. I do want to research it some more and see it might be good to switch over. I don't know. I mean, if we're going to run into the same problems, maybe it's not worth the work, but
So I'm actively doing this for TEC, trying to learn the process, and I really am convinced, based on what Durgadas has been telling us, that it's significantly valuable, not just for like the basic content management aspects, but like improving the newsletter creation process, the tweet process, the management of content going to LinkedIn and all these different platforms. This can really kind of be a central point for this. So I'm pretty sure it's worth it. But I apologize for not having the ability to do all this right this second. But I'm like gonna be actively pushing this information into my small brain, and hopefully we'll have a functional pathway to integrating this process.
Okay, cool. I would love to like maybe not like right now or tomorrow, but have a sync with you at some point once you feel a little bit more comfortable, and you can kind of like show me, and then I can tell you the problems that we're currently running into and make sure that we can mediate that by switching over. Because I mean, I'm down to do it as long as it's worth it.
Yeah, I'm happy to sync anytime, and I don't have the information immediately the second, so yeah. But maybe not the second, but tomorrow or the next day, I will have much more information and capability.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool.
I can also help as well, since I've been using HubSpot for a while, and I mean, just sending out this newsletter on autopilot. HubSpot is a lot easier, and it does have a lot more capability. So I think, I think it's worth exploring.
Well, yeah, I think that's the validation I really need to hear, is because I don't know, autopilot does drive me crazy, but I just also realize how much manual work it is to switch all these things over and connect it with segments.
It's gonna be a pain.
Stuff, so.
Yeah. But I guess it's better doing it now than doing it in like 2 years, right?
Yes.
When it gets even worse.
And if we can solve some of these issues that we're having with autopilot, I'm totally down. Just kind of have short bandwidth right now.
Okay, cool. Well, yeah, I mean, cool. Sounds great. For I was just looking at other things and then just like got sidetracked. So for this Taurus wall user guide thing, I think this doc needs to actually be updated a little bit. I was just skimming through it. It says like selecting Gnosis network. Maybe it's actually should say Gnosis chain. And then also, I think this is still missing the detail of like you need to sign in with the same social media or whatever in order to access the same wallet.
I will update those things, and yeah, thanks for bringing it to my attention again.
Thanks, Gene. When you update it, can you submit it as a PR just so that, and then like assign me as a reviewer, and then I can just make sure that everything looks good.
Yes, ma'am, will do.
Thank you. Giveth article tweet thread. I was just thinking that would be like the Giveth article is a lot of information. I mean, is anyone in this call like wanting to take on like issues like content writing, like tweet thread-y things, or should I just like leave these for later when we have more time?
Yeah, I mean that's part of what I'm trying to do for the HubSpot. So I'll be looking to grab those in the very near future, maybe in the week or so. So yeah. Okay,
sounds good. For now, I'll just leave them as they are. Then I think this make Discord more resilient. Do we need to have this issue still open, or should we close it now?
We can just close it now. I don't know. I've been trying to facilitate some sort of call with the people who need to be there, and it just is not happening. So I don't know. We'll have to explore this a little bit further, or maybe when we get a contributor that is a Discord expert or something, but I just don't feel comfortable and adding random bots that I don't really understand what they do and things like that. Like, I want to have some guidance in that process.
Cool. So maybe we'll just, I mean, if we get somebody in who's like, oh, I can make your Discord better, we'll make an issue for them, but this can stop annoying us now. Yeah. Okay, well, it's closed. There's no going back. Conflict resolution documentation. I know, Forrest, you mentioned that you were thinking of starting this up again.
So sorry for my delay. I am breastfeeding. Yes, I am working on this, and my goal is to have it completed this week. Sorry that I haven't updated this GitHub issue.
It's okay. I'll put it to the top. I think it's like one of the more like, oh, and this one too. These are kind of like the ones that we're definitely doing. Cool. Sounds good. Ashley, do you want to check in on the community issues, or should we just talk about? I mean, I saw you had some community points in the doc.
Yeah, I don't think there's really much progress been made on either of those issues as far as sharing any sort of thing as a tech a bit. The one thing was like, I don't know what to call this weekly community sync that we're doing, because